Welcome to Man vs. Meeple, the show where we talk about everything board game related. I am your host, Jeremy Salinas, aka Drakkenstrike, and I am here with my friend, David Waybright.
Good afternoon, everybody.
You don't have anything important to say today?
Important?
Anything witty?
Witty? No, nothing witty today. We're here with some designers. I don't want to steal the spotlight.
Let's not steal the spotlight. No. We are here with Jordan and Mandy Goddard, bringing us a brand new Gen Con 2016 release that no one knows anything about, Lotus.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. The artwork in this game looks absolutely astounding.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And first of all, which one of you is Jordan and which one of you is...
Yeah, she actually wore my shirt today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's
Sorry.
actually Jordan.
So Mandy and Jordan.
This is actually brilliant marketing because you have the game on the back, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, if I can... Oh, these are swivel chairs. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Nice.
And those are cool shirts, too.
Those are nice shirts.
And
so...
In case you forget.
It's easy for walking around cons because, we sign all of our games... with no last name, just as a game by Jordan and Mandy.
Oh, cool.
Mostly because, we, in early discussions, have always said, we like to be on a first-name basis with anybody who plays our games.
Plus, you don't want stalkers, right?
Also, there's that.
Maybe I shouldn't have said your last name.
Yeah.
Find out anyway, so.
But so when we walk around, it's easy for people to find us this way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, Lotus, how long has it been in development?
About 2 years.
2 years.
From the very first discussion about it to now. It's probably been about 2 years.
Yeah, since we were first on a long walk figuring out how the cards would work till today.
Was it always a flower game, or was it something else prior?
That's a really good question. So it's been through a lot of iterations. Early on, so we knew that we liked the way cards looked when you're holding them in your hand. When you hold a deck of cards, or when a hand
How they're
cards,
splayed out in
they're
front of
splayed
you?
out.
Yeah.
And so we thought, well, there's a lot we could do with this. Either maybe it could be like a peacock and you're building its plumage as you lay it down.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Or maybe you're building gears for a clock. For a while, it was you were repairing Big Ben, and so 4 players sat on each one of the sides of Big Ben, and you were fixing the gears.
Okay.
And then eventually, it kind of plays out so organically that you're growing things. We thought flowers.
So what kind of game is it? Because not a lot is known about the game. Is it a card game, a hand management game? Is it a set collection game? Tell us about it.
So it is a card game. There isn't a board. There's a lot of components, but no board. It is a competitive set completion game where you're completing and collecting sets.
Okay.
Maybe you can go into a little bit about the theme behind it.
So it's 2 to 4 player. Right?
Oh yeah.
And 30 minutes from what I understand, roughly about
Pretty
30
short.
minutes.
30 minutes.
So we've played a round of it, right?
Yeah, a little
and you each start with your own deck of cards, and each deck has the same amount of flowers in them, correct? And how many different sets of flowers are there?
Well, there are 5 different flowers,
Okay.
ranging from a 3-petal flower up to a 7-petal flower.
Okay.
And the way that you can tell the difference, well, first they have the numbers on the actual petals.
Okay.
So you can see the yellow flower is a 4-petal, but you can also tell because they have this shaded area, this sort of
to show how you splay
overlay.
them.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives you the angle where the second petal should be placed. So then, if I were gonna go ahead and put the third one down, you can see that it's. In a 4-flower, it's a perfect 90-degree angle, and then the 4th flower is going to complete that.
Okay, cool.
So the angles kind of give you a way to visually see when each flower is going to be completed based on how many petals they require.
So are you completing your own flower or like a group? Like is everyone trying to complete the same flower that's in the center?
Yeah, here's just an example of how that works. There's going to be a central garden where everybody is growing flowers together.
Okay.
There can, at any time, there can be only one of each type of flower growing at once, but everybody's going to be placing their cards together on flowers. So you're racing to be the one to be completing the flower. You want to place the last petal.
Okay.
But at the same time, you also want to have control of the flowers when it's completed.
Okay.
And you do that through what we call insect guardians, which are ladybugs, butterflies, dragonflies, or caterpillars that you play with.
And also these icons on the cards themselves, right?
Exactly. Yep, those represent your insect guardian as well as the wooden meeples that you can use as actions to place on flowers.
Yeah, we can show you.
So how are you doing that? You have X number of cards in your hand at the beginning of the round, and then what are your actions that you get to take in order to do that?
Right, so you have 4 cards in your hand. You always have a 4-card hand unless you earn the ability to have a 5-card hand. We can talk about that momentarily.
Sure.
But essentially, you have 2 actions on every turn. You have to take both actions. Your actions are to play petal cards from your hand, either 1 or 2. Move one of your insect guardians onto a flower, or swap up to 2 of your cards from your hand with your own deck.
When you say play 1 or 2, is that one to any flower, or does it have to be to the same flower?
Great question. So when you're playing, you must play, if you're going to use the play petal cards action, you would play both of your cards on the same flower. They must be the same color on the same flower.
And that's just one action.
One action to play one or two cards. Yep.
Okay.
So, like in this instance that we're showing here, if I were to take my play petal cards action and play one card here to complete this, that would complete it, and I would then pick this flower, gathering all the petals, and I would keep each one of these. Each one of those as a point at the end of the game. We would also determine who had control of it. So in this instance, see, she has 2 red ladybugs, which is more than my 1 butterfly. However, we also count these insignias in the corners of the cards.
Okay.
Since each player's deck has their insignia, playing a card gives you control.
Okay.
So she has 1, 2, 3, and I have 1, 2, 3. So in this instance, we tie. So we both benefit by having shared control.
Okay. And what's the benefit, again, from the control? You get to pick a power?
Yep, so you have the option to either gain a special power. You'll notice over here, there's 3 special powers. Or you can gain a 5-point chip.
So choices. I mean, that's why I love choices in a game where, okay, I'll take the 5 points, or it looks like you can get a special guardian. Your hand size can go up by 1, so you can hold 5 cards.
Yep.
And then this, what's this one let you do?
That one, Infinite Growth, lets you actually play more than 2 petals at a time. So if you
one
had
flower.
on one flower for
Okay.
one action.
Okay.
So you could complete a whole flower at once if you wanted, if you had that power?
Yeah, it'd be easier
Cool.
to do that if
Very
you had
cool.
that power. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this game will be available at Gen Con. Is it going to be limited? Is it going to be hard to get?
We think it's going to be
So.
fairly hard. They didn't bring a lot of copies in, so
And this is the only copy
This is
right
the only
now,
one.
like in existence?
in all of North America.
Wow.
That's
You got
awesome.
it.
So again, this is a 2 to 4 player game. Is there a sweet spot for this game? Because our viewers always want to know.
Right.
Is it 2, 3, 4? We know it says 2 to 4, but what's really the sweet spot in this game?
It's a
from
great
your
question.
experience. I'm asking a designer, so a designer's
Right.
going to say it's all
We're
of
gonna
them.
say it's
That's not always the case, right? So
We play a lot of games at home, just us, right? So we love it as a 2-player game.
that's pretty typical for us too. I mean,
Yeah.
we have
We'll play each
spouses that
other,
play.
I'll play with my girlfriend,
Yeah.
he plays, yeah.
Here's
so.
what we love about it, though, is that it scales fairly well.
How does
And,
it scale?
I would say really well, because as you add players, you remove cards from the player decks, so that it's the same experience in terms of time length, relatively.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
It's one thing that happens is that in a larger player game, when you have 3 or 4 players, more things change before it gets back to you. So you need to do
Pretty
some more,
typical in most games.
right.
Yeah.
You need to think a little bit more about what could change. But what we love is that as playing this, the 2 of us, if you bring this home from a con, and your kids are enthralled by how good it looks on the table, you can immediately incorporate them. They're going to have a great experience too by adding 2 or 3 more players. So.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's striking to me. This on the table is one of those games I think a lot of people would have a hard time walking by and not saying, "Oh, what's going on over here?" That's why I think
Right.
when you landed on the flowers compared to say like Big Ben and some of the other things, I mean, this obviously lends itself to a far more colorful game. I like where it went.
It looks like a family game too, right? It's
Yeah.
not going to be like your mechs and your warriors and most of the stuff that people would be like, oh, I'm not going to play that. But
Yeah,
this
it's
looks
family, simple to
approachable.
play.
Very
Oh yeah,
approachable by a large audience. So,
But it seems like a pretty good amount of depth.
yeah.
I'm curious on the player count.
Sure.
When you're playing 2 players versus 4, I would think there's a lot more interaction, either passive or direct, in a 4-player game than there is 2-player. Just because I feel like in a 2-player, sometimes the other player might just finish their flower and you wouldn't be able to do much, or is the variety that you're picking up always such that you can probably...
There's a pretty good
Get around each
variety.
other.
With 4 cards in your hand and 5 different types of pedal cards, that's you're not going to get the same things every time. Also, there are, if you'll notice, some of the cards have 2 insignias versus 1, so there is some variety with what you get in your hand is going to change fairly frequently.
Okay.
What I will say in terms of player count, when I play Mandy, I'm trying to get in her head really hard, like trying to know exactly. Like I will lead one to bait her into thinking she's going to get close to finish,
And he's
then-
very good at it. He almost always beats me
So
at this game.
I like the 2-player experience for that kind of
Yeah.
get really into it, like trying to figure out what you're going to do.
Right.
The 4-player experience does get much more interactive
Right.
in terms of you're trying to read a lot of people and
Uh-huh.
trying to understand and then it becomes a lot of like we mentioned these different insect guardians.
Right.
Essentially, you may not be able to finish the 4, and so that can be really frustrating. And as it goes around the table, you're like, I know that's going to get finished. I can't get in on that. That's how this helps. If I know this is going to get finished, I can use both of my actions to gain control of it, and then I can overwhelm control, so I can go. At least I'm going to be participating in something I can't finish.
Makes sense.
Or even maybe stake your claim so that someone knows, oh, now if I finish that, I'm not going to have control,
right.
so they may
Or
as well
he
not.
must have enough to really overwhelm me in the next moment.
That's interesting.
So there is some strategy there on trying to, we try to give you options. So if you don't have the right cards in your hand to feel like, well, this is going to be a huge turn for me, you can strategically place bets essentially on what's going to close next.
So who wins more between you two?
Oh, he always wins.
Really?
I don't know how he does it. Oh, he
I
constantly.
cheat.
He's sneaky.
And I've been stealing from her for years.
I can't. I mean, I don't know how many times we've played this game with each other, but I've probably won a third of the time at most.
Yeah.
It's about having fun.
Yeah,
It's
about
a lot
having
of fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's the price point?
I believe $30.
Yeah,
is
29
the-
or 30.
Is
Okay,
the retail
cool.
price.
Well, guys, check it out at Renegade Gen Con 2016. It's probably going to be limited, so run and grab a copy. I am Jeremy Salinas,
I'm David Waybright.
and thank you, Jordan and Mandy, for joining us here at Man vs. Meeple.
Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.